What up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your guy. Some. Hit the keys. Here today to do a quick demonstration of Fuel by Musik. Who is Musik, you may ask? Well, they are the company that created Master Plan, which is probably one of the greatest mastering plugins out there for home musicians. And this new plugin that they have, this Fuel, is basically an enhancer. So let's go ahead and go to the website first and check this thing out real quick. So as we see here, Fuel, with this, you can get a free demo. Just want to let you guys know that. But what they say here is you can drive your sounds harder, pause, fine-tune maximization and saturation toolkit, combine the best of your favorite plugins in one simple tool, no stacking required, works on any track, vocals, drums, bass, synth, mix, bus, and more. It really does. They're not capping. Classic trap-inspired soft clipping and analog crunch. High octane saturation and bass enhancement, the same unbeatable maximizer in Master Plan. So let's go ahead and hop into FL Studio here for a second and check this thing out a little bit more. All right, guys, so when you open up Fuel, it is going to look like this. It's going to be a little bit smaller, but the GUI is rescalable, so we're going to make it big for this video, just so you guys can see kind of what I'm doing. It's got a few different controls on here, bass, thick, mix, soft clip, compression, and OTT. And then it's got a few more controls over here. I'm gonna go over all these controls a little more in depth here in just a moment. Let me go ahead and grab my headphones and throw these things on. I made a little sample beat as always, and I use Fuel on a lot of things. What I'm gonna do in this demo is I'm kind of gonna show you guys what I use Fuel on, what it's effective with, and how it can help your mixes. And so the sample beat's not all the way mixed down as always. There is a little funky part over here. I don't know about that art, but I just put it in there. But you know what I'm saying? Let's go. All right, guys, so that's a little sample beat that I put together for you guys today. Let's go ahead and hop back into Fuel and check this thing out a little bit more. So as we see here, you got a different controls here in Fuel. And basically a lot of the functionality in this plugin that you can use from other plugins, but it's kind of combined into one. So as you're looking here at this bass knob, this is kind of similar to something like R-Bass or Voice of God, if you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying? It kind of gives a lot of the similar effects as that, which is pretty cool. As you see here, there's compression in this OTT knob. This is Musik or Fuel's version of like RVox or, Pro C2 or like a CL1B or something like that. So that's pretty nice there too as well. This stick is kind of like the MV2 for waves. So it's upwards compression and it allows for you to bring out more character in your sounds from the body and everything like that. If you see the soft clipper is fire because it allows you to push more into the soft clipper as you can. And then, if you like something like Orange Clip or K Clip or something like this is a little bit doper because it's got similar clip functionality, but then it's going to have all this other stuff here too as well, which is pretty solid. If you want to add a little bit of distortion or stuff like that to your sound, you have this crunch button right here. So you can add this one to the 808s or the guitars or whatever it is that you want to add it on. And then this loud knob is the same algorithm from Musik Master Plan. So that's obviously been goated as one of the limiters out here. So this right here is nice too. So basically how we're going to start this bad boy off is I'm going to play this on the drums first. So I'm just going to play the beat and then I'm going to turn this on and you're going to hear the oomph and everything that it gives to the drums by just adding a little bit of bass thickness, mix, and all this other stuff. I didn't have to add all this, but I kind of did just to push it. So I'm going to go ahead and push play. It's on bypass now. You'll see this and you're going to hear it too. So you can kind of hear there clear as day. It gave the beat a lot more life. Like the drums, it gave it a lot more life. All right, guys. So now what I want to do is I just want to listen to it on these drums so you guys can kind of hear what it sounds like on these drums by itself. So I'm going to go ahead and put this at 0 dB real quick. I'm going to push play. I don't really have to push bypass because everything's turned down. So it's going to be at that level right now. But I'm just going to add a little bit of these so you can hear what they sound like. I'm going to start with the loud. Then I'm going to go to the soft clipper, the crunch, and then everything else. So you can see how easily you can enhance your sound. You can get those drums to thump so much more. And I haven't even messed with the compression, the OTT, the bass, or the thickness yet. So let's go ahead and mess with the bass and the thickness real quick. So you see right there how easily I can transform my drums and everything like that. This thing works really well with like basses too. It works well with guitars. It works good on a mix. It works good on a lot of different things. So let's go ahead and turn this up just a little bit to about where it was at before I started messing with all this. And now let's say we come over here to this bass, right? So I have it on this bass right here. And all it does for me on this bass is it adds some saturation, it adds a little bit of distortion, and it just kind of makes the 808 sound a little bit better. So if I push bypass, this is what the 808 sounded like originally. Now if I turn it off or turn it on, so you see how it just filled out that 808 for me. I didn't really add a whole lot. I just added a little bit of crunch here, a little bit of soft clip, some thick, some bass. But again, if we turn all this stuff down and then we start turning it up, we can see what it's doing to the 808. So let's go ahead and turn this down. So you can hear how much it's adding with the loudness. Let's go ahead and mess with the soft clip and the crunch too. So you can hear with that crunch, you can get that distortion sound that you want to. That's what makes this nice. It's not a distortion plugin, but you get a really good distortion with this thing. Now let's mess with this bass and this thickness a little bit. Pause. So as you can see there, you can really shape your 808 and you can get it to sound how you want it to sound. You can add a little bit of oomph. It works really good too with the kick drum and everything like that. So like, let's say I got this kick going, and the kick's not coming through enough. If I sidechain that kick and I add fuel, it'll make my drum bus just thump. So that's pretty solid. You can also use this thing on like pianos. So like right here, you'll see I have this piano, and the piano sounds like this. Before I throw fuel on there, let me hit bypass. I'm just gonna turn the bypass off in the middle too, so you can see it. So you can tell right there, it just brings that piano out for us a little bit. I also threw it on this guitar right here. And with this guitar, basically this is what the guitar sounded like before I threw the fuel on there. Now with fuel. And you can tell it brings that guitar out so much. You can switch it over to OTT mode too. And you can hear with OTT, it's insinuating, or it's like really showcasing those imperfections. So it's bringing out all the dynamics, but that makes it sound pretty cool. And I actually enjoy that, my personal opinion. And then guys, another thing that I want to make sure I show y'all that is cool about this plugin is that you can actually throw this on like a mixed bus. For the sake of this demonstration, I did just throw it on the master bus, but you can throw it on your mix bus, and then you can add a little bit of dynamics, flavor, enhance everything. If you're wondering why your mix is low, or why certain parts are low, or why you can't get it as thick as you want to, pause. This thing will help you out here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push play, and then I have it on bypass right now, and then I'm going to turn it on, and then you're gonna hear the difference it's going to make in the beat. So you can clearly hear it enhancing that volume and enhancing the mix. As you look, I barely turned loud up a little bit. So I think I turned loud up, 3.3 dBs, but I haven't really turned up bass or thickness. Barely turned up the soft clippers. So let's go ahead and turn this loudness down. Maybe we'll turn to 1 dB. And then we're going to start messing with some of these other knobs, and we're going to turn this up. I know some of this is going to be exaggerated, and that's just so that you guys can see the full power of this thing. Obviously, when using an enhancement tool or something like that, you want to add a little bit. You don't want to add too much. Tools like this are the tools that get you from having an almost finished mix to having a finished mix. But this isn't the tool that's going to fix your mix. It's just going to enhance your mix and make it better. I just need to make sure that I stress that. So with this, we're going to go ahead and push play, and we're just going to start with thick and bass, turn them up a little bit, and we're going to turn some of the knobs so that you guys can hear what this sounds like. So we'll turn off the bypass, and we'll turn it back on. When I'm done explaining this, I'll stop, I'll go bypass, and then I'll go back and forth from what we finished with. All right, guys, so this is a little bit extreme, but I'm going to play the bypass, and then I'm going to go into what wasn't bypassed. I probably wouldn't use Fuel this much. I probably would use just little bits and pieces, because you only really need little bits and pieces of this to make the mix sound better. I'm going to start with bypass, and we're going to turn it on, and you're going to hear, y'all saw how fast I made that mix louder. I might do a little different things differently on my mix, but y'all saw how quick I got this mix to be louder. It wasn't a lot of work, and it didn't destroy it. All right, guys, so what are my final thoughts of Fuel? Well, for me on Fuel, I do think that this is probably the most solid plugin like this I've ever used before, like an enhancer or something like that, because of all the things it allows you to do. It doesn't just enhance just volume. You can break down different parts. You can mess with the thickness of the mix. You can mess with the bass. You can add a clipper. You can add distortion. You can add more body. You got control over compression and OTT. You also have a limiter. So for me, I think that this is really solid. You know, who's it for? It's probably for somebody who almost has their mix there all the time. So somebody who doesn't know how to get their mix from 90 or 95% to 100, I feel like a tool like this could help you out. I also feel like it could help out newbies. I feel like it could help out any kind of level of producer because it can kind of help you use your ear. So it'll allow for you to hear, oh, I might have added a little bit too much distortion, or I might have turned this knob up too much. But what it will also allow you to do is in a very quick amount of time, it'll allow you to dial in a better mix, and it'll allow you to get the final touches to your mix that can get it to a master. So I meant to demo this on a vocal. I had the vocal pulled up and everything, but I forgot. But again, like I said, you can use this on anything that you're working on, any kind of sound. You can use it on your mix bucks. And then for $59 for the intro, you can't beat that. I had to cut apart because I said the wrong price there, but for $59 for an intro, pretty solid plugin. So make sure if you guys do like this content though, you drop a whole elbow on that like button, hit subscribe to that notification bell so every time we bring you guys a new video, you can be the first to see. Appreciate you guys' time as always, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Some, hit the key.